This is the third Pearl of Africa Summer Leadership School, organized by Mastercard Foundation Scholars Program at Makerere University, in partnership with the Private Sector Foundation, Uganda.
Today's presentation, what I'm going to talk to you is about choice. You decided what to wear based on choice. You decided, say, I am going to wear pants instead of, I'm going to wear yellow instead of. Now, before we do our first practical, I just have a very, very brief story to tell. One of the most important lessons I learned from P3 is the story of the hare and the tortoise. Actually, because I find tortoise hard, I'm going to use the word turtle. What do we know about turtles? They are very slow. What do we know about hares? But they are fast. So one day, give me a name for the tortoise. Tortoise is called? The hare is called? Atwoki. Okay. So these guys are chilling, what? They're there, banging banter. So Atwoki is bragging, saying, you know, I'm the fastest person in this village. No one can beat me. I'm so fast. I win everything. 100 meters, I take it. What? And Sam is old and very slow and says, but I think I can beat you. Atwoki is like, you can't beat me. So they agree and they say, on this particular day, we are going to have a race. The whole village mobilizes, everyone is there, and they start. And they are running from Bugolobi to Mubs. So on your marks, get set, go. Atwoki leaves Sam so far, Sam can't see him. So what does Sam do? Sam moves slowly by slowly at a very, very slow pace. Now, because Atwoki has arrogance, he runs, he looks behind, he does not see Sam. He says, you know what? Let me rest. He rests and he oversleeps. Now, this man who was moving very, very slowly comes and overtakes him. Now, Atwoki realizes later on, and Atwoki tries to catch up. But guess who has crossed the finish line? This story is a very good reminder of nearly everything we do on a daily basis regarding choice. A number of times we become complacent. We feel the world owes us something, right? Hard work. Do you genuinely put in a hard work? Commitment, energy, zeal, all those things. So my presentation today is a very long-term decision-making on choice of pathways and pursuing it with passion. All of us are focused on this. This is what we want. You're young, you want to understand how to get through that amazing maze and come to the future. And there is no one in this room who does not want a good future. I am more than certain you want to have families. I am more than certain you want to travel the world. Those are things you want from the future. But all those things cannot be attained without you being deliberate about the choices you make and seeing those choices through. Okay? So today, my presentation is really broken down into these 4 broad aspects. We're going to understand the concept. Then we're going to talk about effective decision making, the future, the journey. You must know where you're going. You must know how to get there. And the most common pathways, which is employment and entrepreneurship. Okay? Everyone is different. And many times you try and be someone else, but this I want us to focus on individuality. Now, to the best of my knowledge, each of you has been given a foolscap. Do we all have paper? Write today's date. Now, write 5 things that you feel will be important 10 years from now about yourself. What do you think will be the most important things to you in 10 years' time? And we are saying these are the equivalent of your goals. That paper is yours. You can forget about anything in this session here. Forget. But come on, refer to that paper as much as you can. Okay? So let's try and build on this. It's a journey that you have to take yourself through, and it requires hard work. Who thinks life is easy? Try and remember what it was when you are doing your S6 exams. How much effort did you guys actually apply to pass your S6 examinations? Didn't you read hard? We did. That's perseverance. When things get hard, don't give up. It requires planning. You have to plan your day. You have to plan your life. You have to know where you want to go. And over and above the things you want to do, how do you intend to achieve them? There has to be action. Okay? Focus. Focus is very, very critical. There is a lot of distraction. You must know what you want. You must know what you aspire to get out of life. And the things that are going to truly, truly distort your focus, as ladies and gentlemen here. One, alcohol. Manage or eliminate alcohol. Control your lust. Relationships and those things. Know what you want. This is what I want. In 5 years' time, I want to finish my master's degree. Okay? In 10 years' time, I want to have risen this level in an organization. Okay? But all those things come from focus. And the reward of that entire journey is success. Now, I'm going to show you something very short about your life. That's your life journey. And you're born, you're brought into this planet. One, no one asked you, do you want to be born? Do you know that? Now, when you're born, and let's say you're born in 2000, you don't have to worry about your needs. Someone feeds you, they shower you. Basically, you are entirely reliant on yourselves. And it means that you have minimal struggle because everything is given to you. Now, the painful thing about this particular aspect here is some people never move on from that stage. And some people will think that everything will be given to them, that they are still newborn babies. That is not true. And I want to remember that that is a stage in your life where you are born, and it is the only time when you will enjoy life for free because you don't have to do work. The next 20 years, you're going to apply yourself to finish school. And you focus on finishing school and getting the best grades. You now have some responsibilities, but you don't have major responsibilities because most likely, someone is taking care of your bigger needs. Someone is taking care of your education, someone is taking care of your housing, and the like. The challenge is, at that point in time, you feel that success is guaranteed. Because you have good grades, you feel the world is going to be good to you. Now, most of you are at that point in your life there. Now you are going to enter another phase where it is now you have to look out for yourself. So if you're to close your eyes, what do you think your future will look like 2030? Do you think someone will still be paying your rent? Do you think someone will be sending airtime all the time? And I want you to move from here, from being a baby and being in school, and realize you're now adults. You're now decision makers. You can now think. You can make choices. Now, there was a free fool's cup. Hold it like this. At the bottom here, you are going to divide this paper into approximately 7 parts. So you do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you'll do it in multiples. So it will be 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, up to 70. Now, plot your age on the x-axis. I'm going to assume, this is an assumption, that your productive age in Uganda is 70 years. And please don't quote me. That you will stop being productive either by death, retirement, or sickness at 70. Okay? Now, where you have your age, okay, draw a line going up. Now, where that line is, fold it. Now, tear that part off. Now, show me both parts. Okay, one part is. Now, this is the third part. What you've cut off is your life today. Consider that life gone. There is nothing. Throw it away. Put it aside. Now you have a paper in your hands. That is your life now. In terms of hard work, perseverance, and we are going to do a simple exercise, which is going to take us 2 minutes. But this is now a group exercise. Show me your paper. Show me your pen. Now, put down your paper and start writing. How many hours do we have in a day? There are 24 hours in a day. I want you to do a simple exercise. And this is for you. Divide that paper into 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., 7 to 8, 8 to 9, 9 to 10, all the way up to midnight. And you are going to plan your day. You're going to plan your day along 5 very important capitals. The exercise you're going to do is going to build on this. By health, diseases can come that you have no control over. Accidents can come and they cripple you or they maim you. But there are things that you have capacity to control. These revolve around the things like exercising. As much as possible, try and build a system of physical activity to build that first capital. It also means you have to be careful of what you put into your body. I'm talking about alcohol, I'm talking about drugs, I'm also talking about the food you eat. Try and build a culture of eating well. That's a capital. That's an investment you're putting in yourself. Now, most of you are in school and you are forced to read. For you to be different from the people who are not in this room, you have to invest in your brain. That's an intellectual capital. Just because you got a degree does not mean you're done with reading. That reading was purely academic, but there is reading that is meant to make you a better person. So, an intellectual capital that you have focus on is in reading, and you have got to read. It is important for you that as you plan your next 10 years and the choices you make, to appreciate that whatever you do, there's someone above you. Try and build that spiritual connection with something. I will tell you why that's very, very important. A lot of values are actually grounded in spirituality, okay? In terms of hard work, in terms of honesty, in terms of faithfulness, in terms of commitment, okay? This one is the most important. You must aspire to make money. I want to believe that everyone in this room did not work very hard to get a degree, just stay home. Apply the knowledge you got. Seek a job. Change the world. Provide a skill. Apply yourselves, but apply yourself economically. And the last one that most of you are good at is social. You have to be a social person. Make relationships with your family members. If there are friends you're not talking to, forgive them. If you have issues with your relatives, all these things here, okay? It's good to have a balance of that social set. That you're peaceful, that you don't have people who hate you, that don't hate people and the like. So these are the 5 things you're supposed to invest in. And these are the 5 capitals of your life. Now, the challenge with this is you must make sure you're not only focusing on one. And a lot of time, you find yourself focusing so much on economic that you're leaving out intellectual. Or you're focusing so much on social that you're not doing this. Try and do your day. Plan your day along those 5 capitals. So, these are the key terms I want us to discuss right now. Choice. You have to make a choice. And to describe it very simply, a choice is an act of choosing between 2 or more possibilities. You have to make a choice for what you want for your life. You want success or you want failure. You want to travel the world, you want to stop in your village. After you make a choice, you have to have a pathway. And what is the way you are going to employ to achieve that result? You must know the journey you want to take. You must know what's required. You have got to pursue it. And to pursue is you have to effort to secure or attain a goal. If you're going to go into business, if you're going to go into employment, you've got to do it to the best of your ability. So when we discuss choice and making choices, as I say, the first step is deciding. You must decide to make that choice. And your choice must be informed. Okay? If your friend's choice is he wants to go into business, or he wants to go to Iraq, or he wants to go and be a maid, that is their choice. You must believe in your choice. There's a power in belief. I want to be the best engineer. So if you're going to make apps, if you're going to focus on your line of engineering, and it's a choice you want to make, you have to believe in it. And you have to believe that you're making the right choice. But I also want us to appreciate that things change. And from time to time, the choice you make might change because of circumstances. But only change with facts. If you are changing your career path, if you're changing your life path, make sure you're changing for the right reasons. Okay? By now, with a choice, you must paint a vision and you must have an outlook of what your future looks like, which is why I started that exercise of 2032. How do you see yourself in 2032? That is you painting a vision of you putting yourself in that position. So I'll give you a very brief statistic here. What is the current population of Uganda? 40 million. Okay? Around 6 years ago, Uganda's population was, I think, about 33 million. And it was projected that by 2025, Uganda would be 50 million. Who can estimate what our population will be, other factors remaining constant, by 2050? Shall be 100 million Ugandans. So that means, in very simple terms, is that our population is projected to effectively double, increase by almost 2.5. With that information, do you think Kampala will be the same? What kind of transport do you think we have? How do you think people will be communicating? So paint a picture and try and look at the future. What does the future look like? Write it down. There's a power in you actually transferring something from your head to your hand. You're manifesting it, you're putting it in the universe. Okay? So write down your goals. Write down what you want to be in the next 10 years. Don't get distracted. There are so many distractions out there. There's a lot of noise in terms of people wasting your time, in terms of opinions, thoughts, their fears. Don't get distracted. Seek the right partners. I really, really hope that you guys, after this, you can make this your community. It's very important to get the right friends. So as I conclude, I want us to talk about the two pathways for success you're going to choose. It's between employment and entrepreneurship, right? If you are going to pursue the pathway of employment, I want us to be ready. One, it's an ability to apply what you've learned in school. You guys who did engineering, you guys who did nursing, guys who did pharmacy, guys who did computer engineering, that is an avenue to apply what you studied in school. For you to be good at employment, and I know there's going to be a lot of capacity building around how to get a job, keep a job, write a CV. Once you get there, you must be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. Just because you've learned does not mean it's done. How do you unlearn? Some of the things you learned don't make sense. You have to relearn. I was a banker, and when I was a banker, the rules were you had to be in the bank at 7 and leave at 7. So it built a culture in my head that I always had to leave very early in the morning and go somewhere and come back at 7. COVID hits me, they say work from home. I could have shut down my computer and say, I can't do this, but I had to relearn. How do you learn from working at home? How do you learn to have that discipline and the like? So you must be humble, because a number of times, most likely, you are going to enter your organization at 0. You're going to be entry level, you know nothing. Just because you got a first-class degree does not mean you're better than a person who has 5 years experience, because he has actually been there. So you have to be humble. Be open-minded. It's very important to be open-minded, because you feel that the only organization that will take you farthest in life right now is if you worked for the United Nations. How many want to work for UN? Do you think UN recruits 10 million people per annum? You have to be open-minded. And this is really an approach to work. You might despise that job. You might despise that organization. But that may be your first step to opening a door into another organization. Know your value system. Knowing your value system is very, very important if you want to make it in employment. You are going to be encountered with scenarios where people are going to say, here is money for you to do ABCD. It's called a bribe. That's a shortcut. You take that money, 300K, 500K, you could lose your job. Know your value system. Know what you can do, what you can't do. Some of you are not going to opt for the path of employment. One, because jobs are scarce, but two, you feel you can do much more. And you may opt for entrepreneurship. It's viable, it happens, but it is hard. It is hard, one, because most of you don't have capital. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it is difficult, but it's doable. Perseverance. Okay? And there will be disappointments. And you must be ready for these disappointments. And you must be ready to pick yourself up and continue. You must be ready to be misunderstood by your friends, your peers, and your families. It goes back choice. If you feel that the path you've chosen of entrepreneurship in terms of starting a business is what is going to give you the fulfillment or change your life, that is. So remember, don't get distracted. It requires a lot of discipline. This cuts across both for employment and for entrepreneurship. You must be very, very disciplined. The discipline to wake up at a fixed time every day. The discipline to read. The discipline to budget. The discipline to manage your time. The discipline to connect with your God. All these things require discipline. It's rewarding the long term. Who are the richest people in the world? Elon Musk, Who else? Bill Gates. What does he own? What do all these people have? They are business people. So in the long run, after perseverance, after ups and downs, it is rewarding. I'm allowing you to make a choice. At some point, you can see when to move. Try entrepreneurship, try employment. With time, you will see where your strengths are. You will see where your opportunities are, and then you can go with that. Remember, not all of you are meant to be business people. Patience is critical. You have to be patient. There is a certain culture where you want, it's called a microwave culture. Press 3 minutes, it's warm. No. A lot of these are going to take a lot of time. You are not going to get 15 years, 20 years experience in one day. You have to go through 15 and 20 years. You have got to go through those years, and that's patience. And if you're going into entrepreneurship, if you want to change the world genuinely, bring new ideas. These guys are worth the people I mentioned because they brought new ideas. They brought new ways of communication. They brought new ways of mobility. So you too must be bringing new ideas. If you bring the same idea over and over again, that's why you guys in your youth, you have all these things in your head. You must be able to bring new ideas. The way you see things is different from the way I see things. Okay? I thank you.
Enhancing the scholar's potential to transition to meaningful and dignified engagements.